Coach Chris, or Greek, as he was known by his players and fellow coaches, joined the Waterloo staff in 1987 as wide receivers coach. He made the transition to defense in 1988 when Dave Tuffy Knight became head coach of the Warriors. That year, he worked with the defensive backs, the same position he played under Coach Tuffy while at Laurier. In addition to coaching the DBs, Greek moved to a full-time position within the university, splitting his time working in facilities while also serving as a recruiting coordinator for the football team. Coach ultimately took over the Waterloo defense, coordinating an aggressive, pressure-based unit filled with ball-hawking players and innovative coverages. Greek became head coach of the Warriors following Coach Knight's retirement at the conclusion of the '98 season and promptly led the Warriors to the Yates Cup championship in 1999. During his tenure, Greek's defenses were always physically and statistically impressive, and with team success comes individual success. Over nearly 20 years, 20 players were selected as All-Canadians, a number of players were drafted into the CFL, and 2 players received the President's Trophy Award for Defensive Player of the Year. But for Coach Chris, football was more than just a game. It was also a vehicle he used to teach life lessons, as highlighted by his open-door policy, where he established lifelong bonds with his players. Greek is sorely missed and is our angel in the sky watching down upon us from above.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to introduce a very good friend of mine, a dear mentor, a great coach, Chris Triantafilou, Greek. Before I start, Betsy, Kayla Rose, Georgia, Lily, know that above all else, your dad loved you more than anything in the world. And he'd be so proud of all you today. Thank you very much for being here today with us. You know, people ask me, would like to spend time with Greek, and I spent a lot of time with him as a player, and as a coach with him, and then as his right-hand man. And when you think about Greek, you know one thing above all else. As much as he loved football, because he loved football, he loved his players more. And he did everything he possibly could to make sure his young men were taken care of and were set up for success, not just on the field, but off the field.
Yeah, I worked with him a long time, and he started out in jobs that were kind of meaningless jobs, maybe in the athletic department, as how we could keep him on full time. And he drove the Zamboni up at the ice arena. He washed towels, and he did a lot of things that were probably beneath some people, but it wasn't beneath Greek. And he was a great, a hard worker. And he wasn't one of the guys as an assistant coach says, gee, I got to get out of here. You know, I've been here an hour or 2 hours or 4 hours. I got to get home. Nope, he was going to stay as long as you wanted to stay and talk football or stay and talk about coaching. And he's just a great kid. And I coached him, and as a coach, when I coached him, he was an overachiever, and as a coach, he was an overachiever. He worked really hard. He wasn't going to be outworked, and that's the thing that I admired and respected from him. That no one is going to ever outwork Greek, and it's the same with recruiting. If you challenge him to say, "Boy, we got to get this guy," he's going to call that kid and get on him and make sure we do get him. Same with keeping their grades up. He would get on guys and about keeping our grades up, and I'd say, you got this guy, you got to really keep your eye on him because he's not very good academically. And so he'd get on that kid and harass that kid all year to make sure he did keep his marks up.
Kind of like me, right, Coach?
Yeah, kind of like you, yeah.
The scheduled year, we had lost to WLU significantly, and we were in the game. And we had 30 minutes to prove that we're a football team. And as we came out, it seemed to be very surreal. The atmosphere, the sky, the cloud, the stadium being overcrowded, the track being overcrowded with enthusiastic fans, the energy in that stadium. It was a tremendous thrill for us coming out of there, but it was a tremendous thrill for the program winning 2 years after their first Yates Cup.
it was a wild ride through the 90s and leading into that 99 season. And Greek did a lot to put his stamp on the program when he took it over. But one of the things that I always remember about Greek is spending time in this office here. We'd be together. We break down film on Sunday from the game before. We get the kids run down. We watch film. And then we take our tapes away. And then we put our plans together for the next week as to what we were going to do. And always, Tuesday morning, we get together and we show each other what we were thinking for the week. And I remember sitting down here one time, and we were playing Western. And it was going to that 99 season. And Greek goes, I got it, Marshall. I got it. I've got the perfect defense. It's perfect. He went up on the chalkboard that was behind me. And he led it there. And he drew up every formation Western had and his adjustments to his defense that he had out there. He said, if they do the slot around, I got this. They do the inside trap, we're here. And they throw that pro pass, I got it here. They throw the crossing, I got it. I've got it all covered, Marshall. It's perfect defense. I sat there for a few minutes. I went, look, yep. Looks good, Greek. One little problem. You got 13 men on there. God dang it! It drove him nuts. They had the perfect defense, but just one too many. But sure enough, he sat down. An hour later, had it all worked out, and was ready to get the kids prepared to play Western that week.
Oh, as a recruiter, he was excellent. He was excellent as a recruiter. I'd have to get on his case a little bit sometimes, and he was an excellent recruiter. He could communicate with the parents, and he would go to Windsor, and when he would go, he would eat at the cheapest places there was and the best deals, And you could send him on a trip like that, and you figure it's going to cost this amount, but it didn't, because he'd find out the cheapest restaurant in town with supplied the best food and the most food, and that's where we would eat. He'd bring back the bill. I'd say, gee, you could have spent a little more on food. He said, no, I ate barbecue places, and the tunnel in Windsor was called a barbecue tunnel restaurant, and they had barbecued ribs, and he'd go there and eat, and it was probably all you could eat for about $4 or something like that. So he would always hit that place up. That was a big evening meal for him. He met with them, and they respected him, and he had the discipline with the kids, but he could communicate with the kid from the lowest income to the kid that was from the wealthiest income, and he had a good communication with the kids, and the kids respected him a lot.
Greek was not only a great football coach, he was a better human being. He cared about each and every one of you that are here more than you'll ever imagine. And it was a great honor that I see him entering this Ring of Honor.